Hey, welcome. Today we are diving into something called cost control. And I know, it sounds kind of dry, but forget about those boring spreadsheets for a second. Think of it as a secret weapon for any business that really wants to win, not just get by. In today's world, getting a handle on your costs is basically how you take control of your future. So let's get into it.
So let me start by asking you this. Are hidden costs slowly sinking your business? See, it's usually not the one big, obvious expense that gets you. It's the slow leaks, all those little inefficiencies that just add up and up over time. They can pull a company under before you even realize what's happening. All right, here's our game plan for today. We're going to start with what I call your financial compass and the three big pillars of control. Then we'll see how it all works in the real world with three totally different playbooks. One for a huge manufacturer, one for a startup, and one for a restaurant. And finally, we'll wrap up by showing you how all this gives you a serious strategic edge. Okay, so first things first, I want you to think of a cost control system not as some kind of restriction, but as your financial compass. It's literally the tool that guides every single decision you make toward healthy, sustainable growth. Honestly, without it, you're just flying blind. So what is it officially? Well, it's a system to make sure what you actually spend doesn't go over what you plan to spend. But here's the key thing to get. This isn't about panicked last-minute cost cutting. No. It's a proactive, strategic way to manage your money with real intention. Now, any effective system needs a really strong foundation, right? Well, for cost control, that foundation is built on three essential pillars. If you get these three things right, you basically create this powerful engine for financial discipline in your business. And here they are. It's pretty simple, actually. First, you plan and you budget. That's your roadmap. Second, you monitor and analyze what's happening to see if you're actually on course. And third, when you start to drift, you take corrective action to steer yourself back. Plan, monitor, act. That simple cycle is the absolute heartbeat of cost control. Now let's see how it plays out in the real world. So our first playbook comes from a massive automobile manufacturer. Think about an operation this huge and complex. For them, cost control is this monumental challenge where just tiny little percentage points can mean millions and millions of dollars. So here's the challenge. They're launching a brand new car model, and they have a very specific target cost for production. But with thousands of parts, a global supply chain, hitting that exact number is a massive, massive undertaking. And this right here, this is pillar 2, monitoring in full effect. The system automatically flags two big problems. The cost of steel is way over budget, and it's taking too long to assemble the car. Now, on one vehicle, that might not seem like a big deal, but multiply that by 100,000 cars coming off the line, that is a gigantic potential loss that needs immediate attention. Of course, they only caught that because of pillar 1, the plan. The company had set this incredibly meticulous target cost of exactly $25,000 per vehicle, breaking down the budget for every single nut, bolt, and hour of labor. That budget became their single source of truth. And all that data triggered pillar 3, corrective action. The procurement team immediately started hunting for new steel suppliers. The operations folks dug in and discovered the extra labor hours were because of a new, inefficient machine on the line. The solution? Either retrain the workers to use it better or just replace the machine. This is cost control at its absolute best, solving problems before they can spiral out of control. Okay, now let's completely switch gears. We're going from a corporate giant to a scrappy little e-commerce startup. For them, on a lean budget, cost control isn't about optimizing millions of dollars. It's about survival. It's about making every single dollar count. So this startup is growing fast, which is great, but they are burning through cash. Their big challenge is to make sure their marketing spend isn't just another expense, but a high-yield investment that actually fuels their growth. Their real-time monitoring dashboard, that's pillar 2 again, tells a really clear story. Their social media ads are just eating up the budget for a pretty low return on investment. But meanwhile, their search engine marketing, it's a total rock star, delivering huge returns, and it's still under budget. The data could not be any clearer. And this analysis was only possible because they had pillar 1, a solid plan. They had a firm $10,000 monthly marketing budget, and they allocated specific amounts to different channels. These benchmarks were absolutely essential for them to know what was really working and what wasn't. So for pillar 3, the marketing manager took smart, decisive action. And notice, they didn't just slash the budget, they optimized it. They paused those weak social media ads and reallocated those funds directly to the high-performing search campaign.
That's how you make sure every single dollar is working as hard as it possibly can.
Okay, for our final playbook, let's look at something we can all relate to, a local restaurant. In the world of food service, where margins are razor thin, cost control isn't some annual review. It's a daily discipline. It's what literally keeps the doors open.
Now, the owner knows that their two biggest, most volatile costs are always food and labor. If either of those goes off the rails for just a few weeks, the entire month's profit can completely vanish. Poof!
So their weekly analysis, Pillar 2 in action, shows a really worrying trend. Food costs are up 4%, and labor is up 3%. Now, you might think that's not so bad, but in the restaurant world, that 7-point gap isn't just a problem. That is the entire profit margin. This is a 5-alarm fire. Their plan, Pillar 1, was actually really simple. It's based on industry standard targets. Keep food cost at 30% of sales and labor at 25%. These two benchmarks guide every single decision they make, from what's on the menu to who's working on a Tuesday night.
So for Pillar 3, the owner got right into the weeds, the food cost issue. Turns out it was waste from over-ordering and sloppy portioning. The labor issue? They were overstaffed during the slow hours. So the fixes were direct: a new inventory system, retraining the kitchen staff on portion control, and building smarter schedules. This is grassroots cost control that literally saves the business.
So we've seen 3 very different examples. After all this, what's the ultimate payoff? What's the real strategic advantage here? Well, the payoff is pretty clear. Obviously, you get increased profitability and better financial health. But it's so much more than that. It enhances your operational efficiency, just like we saw with the manufacturer. It improves how you allocate resources, like the startup showed us. And when you put all of that together, you create a truly powerful strategic advantage. But, if there's one thing you take away from all this, it should be this. A great cost control system isn't just a set of rules handed down from the finance department. It's a mindset. It's about building a culture of financial discipline where every single person in the organization feels a sense of ownership and understands how they impact the bottom line. So we'll end with a question for you, because these principles, they apply whether you're running a multinational corporation or just your own household finances. Everybody needs a compass. So you have to ask yourself, what is my compass guiding me toward? And is it pointed in the right direction? Thanks for tuning in.